this video found you, it's very likely that you have a fire dragon spirit guide. But if you don't believe me, we're going to get into 7 signs that you do. But first, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Hannah, and I help people to own their powers and step into the driver's seat of their own lives. And today we're going to be doing that by exploring these different signs that you may have a fire dragon spirit guide around you that wants to work with you and help you clear out any baggage, any dense energies from your life. And for those of you who do know me, I am back in real YouTube video form. I don't know when the last time was that I actually did one of these, because recently most of my YouTube videos have been just TikTok videos that I've posted on YouTube. So I'm excited to be back. I have a little more time in my schedule to make these again, so we'll see how long I can keep up the schedule. So first off, what exactly are fire dragon guides? What makes them different from other dragon spirit guides? And if you're completely lost, if you've just happened to stumble upon this, you don't even know what real dragons are, then I'd encourage you to check out this video up here where we go into that. Fire dragons as guides, however, they hold this very powerful frequency. They are master alchemists, basically, more so than maybe other elemental dragon guides, because fire in and of itself is a transmutive force. It transmutes, it's what it does. So that is kind of the role of fire dragons. And you will find also that fire dragons in particular can be good for energy protection. So if you are an empath, let's say, that struggles to set boundaries, you're struggling with narcissistic people or energy vampires, likely you would like to call on a fire dragon to help you out with that, and they will. So they can help with energetic protection and transmuting old energies. I would say these are really great things. And then number 3 is that they can help give you a spark of passion, of inspiration on something. So if you're working on a creative project, but you've hit a lull, you feel like you've lost the muse, let's say, you can call upon a fire dragon to help give you that fire needed to keep pushing ahead. So maybe you're already resonating with these qualities of the fire dragons. And if so, that's great. I would invite you, if you're feeling like you have a fire dragon guide or you'd like to have a fire dragon guide, you can join us in Fire Dragon Month in my private community, the House of the Spirit Dragon. So in the month of June, as of filming this, we're going to be focusing on fire dragons and working with the fire dragons this entire summer, actually. And even if you're watching this in the future, you can still join the house at any time and access the replays so you can learn how to connect with your personal fire dragon guide and actually do a group ritual where we work with the fire dragons as a collective. So if that sounds awesome to you, I'm going to leave a link in the description below. Now, anyways, on to the 7 signs that you have a fire dragon spirit guide, because I know you're probably chomping at the bit there, wanting to know what these signs are already. Sign number 1, which is actually pretty obvious, but you're going to want to look deeper than what your initial impulse might be. So fire energy in your astrology. So I know a lot of people, they'll hear this fire signs and they'll immediately think of their sun sign. Maybe if they're a little bit more educated, they'll think also of their moon sign and their ascendant. But I actually mean, look at your whole astrology chart. Where are all of your placements? Do you have a lot of fire energy in your chart? Because it's possible that your sun sign is, let's say, in Cancer, and you could have an ascendant in Capricorn, and you could have a moon in Aquarius. None of those are fire signs, yeah? And yet you could have strong fire energy still if you look at the other placements in your chart. Maybe your Mars, your Venus, and your Jupiter are all in like Sagittarius or something. You never know until you look at your whole chart. So I would say look at your chart, see if you have a significant amount of signs of placements in fire signs. This is a good indication, but of course it's not limited to this. So if you're resonating with fire dragons, but you don't have a lot of fire energy, no stress, because the fire dragons might also want to work with you to help imbue some fire into your life. Maybe you're a water sign and you really struggle with that fire energy, with harnessing that, and therefore a fire dragon would like to come teach you and assist you in accessing that. Sign number 2, that you have a fire dragon spirit guide, is that you yourself are a very fiery and passionate person. You don't settle for less. You follow your passions. You have strong beliefs. And most importantly, you never give up. You're sort of this determinator archetype, if you are familiar with TV tropes. It's the character that just keeps going no matter what. They never give up. And this is something that fire dragons really admire. So if this is a quality you hold, likely you are quite magnetic to the fire dragons. Now, sign number 3, kind of going off of sign number 2, is that you may be very passionate, fiery. You may never give up. However, you're prone to burn out. You may have noticed in your life that you sort of like work best in spurts, where you're like working really hard, you're passionate about something, and then you kind of just peter out. You lose all of your focus, you lose all of your motivation, you kind of just want to sleep to veg, you don't want to have anything to do with that project anymore. This is very much a fire sign, fire dragon quality, to be prone to this. Of course, we're all prone to this, but fire people can be more prone than other types. Sign number 4 is that you need a lot of physical activity and just movement, because you, as like a fiery type person, you're transmuting a lot of energy like constantly. You need to physically like discharge that. And if you are aware of autism, let's say, you might want to check out this video that I have up here on stimming, because lots and lots of stimming actually can be a sign of this very thing, of just needing movement. It doesn't always have to be like you go to the gym constantly, you're working out, you're running, you're doing all these big things. It can just be like little movements as well. My personal anecdote on this is I don't really remember this, but apparently I was such an energetic, fiery child growing up as just a young toddler, even preschooler. My parents were so distraught, they put me in Taekwondo in hopes to kind of discharge some of that energy and to channel it. And it worked. And I was into many different sports as a child. And now as an adult, though I'm not like super into sports, I do have to go to the gym basically every day. And if I don't go to the gym, I like to at least take a really long walk or to ride my bike or something. And I find if I go even a day without getting some significant form of exercise, I just feel so heavy. I can like literally feel all of this energy just congealing in my system, and I hate that feeling as a fire dragon person. So sign number 5, sketchy sign number 5, is that you tend to attract dark or even dangerous people into your life. And as a result, as an extension, you might even be drawn to like living in really like sketchy places where there are a lot of low vibrational people. And an example of this is like, basically since I was born, I've always kind of found myself around drug addicts, like serious drug addicts. No matter where I move, I've lived now on 4 different continents. I've lived in so many different places, and yet I always seem to find myself around these drug addict type people, for example, and other kind of disturbed, like dangerous people, violent people even. And unfortunately, this is like a negative quality or negative side effect of kind of working with the fire dragons, they literally feed off of this like dangerous low vibrational energy. Because remember, right, they're transmuters. They're just natural transmuters. So they love to have that low vibrational energy. They literally like eat it and they transmute it in a high vibrational energy. And likely you are doing the same thing as a fire dragon person, which is why you're drawn to these like low vibrational, like darker people and places. Sign number 6 is that you are a natural born leader, even if that means that you are oftentimes a natural born loner because you're doing something that goes against the grain. You're doing something that's out of the ordinary. You're following your own heart, your own passions, and everyone else around you might be too scared to actually do that thing. But regardless, you may attract people, you may be a leader, or you may be a loner, but regardless, you have this tendency to kind of go to the beat of your own drum and to do things first. You're the type that I like to call is like the vanguard. You like to go in first, you do things first. And it's possible off of that you are like the firstborn child or grandchild even. This is the kind of energy that fire dragons are typically drawn to, because fire as an element is literally this spark of life. It comes first before the other elements. It's the spark of life. And so if you're that kind of person, it means you're vibrating at that same frequency of fire. So final sign we'll get to today, sign number 7, is that you are not afraid to start over and 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 over again. You're not afraid to burn it down time and time again. And likely what this means is your life has been very chaotic. And how this has shown up for me, one of the ways in any case, is that I do live in so many different places. It seems like I can't stay in a place for more than like 1 or 2 years before everything kind of falls apart and I have to cut ties and I just got to move into a fresh energy. And again, this is very fiery fire dragon energy. They kind of feed off of this. So of course there are more signs that could indicate that you're working with fire dragons than just this, but these are the 7 that the fire dragons kind of called me to channel for you today. Now I'm curious if you want to let me know in the comments below, how many of these signs do you relate to? How many of the signs? I see myself as a spiritual scientist, as I like to say. I like to gather data, so I'm curious about my audience, like how many of these signs do you actually resonate with? And do you feel like you have a fire dragon guide? Whether or not you resonate with a lot of these signs. I'm super curious. Have you met your dragon guide? Have you not met them yet? Let me know all the things. I don't want to overstimulate you, but let me know all the things. And again, I'm going to throw it out there that we are going to be working with the fire dragons during the month of June in the house. And the link for that is in the description below. I would honestly love to have you there if you're feeling called to work with the dragons in any capacity. It brings me great joy to just work with my community and to do like these group sort of rituals and to meet our fire dragon guides and to like transmute hella shit. And as I'm sure I don't need to tell you, friends, like based on the current energies, this is the perfect time to be working with the fire dragons, right? It's like there's probably a lot of stuff that you've been experiencing and processing lately that does not serve you. So if you're ready to just set that on fire once and for all, join us in the house for the month of June. Now, as usual, friends, if this provided you any sort of benefit, if you enjoyed this video, me and the fire dragons would love you forever if you could like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, because these things help the algorithm along. It gets these niche esoteric topics out to people that are interested and helps them make sense of what they're experiencing, helps them to feel less crazy, you know, as I'm sure maybe you yourself experienced coming across this video. So if you could do that, we would super appreciate you. And of course, either way, we are loving you forever anyways, my friend. Until next time, stay powerful.